Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Nariele and Cownaugh's Tips and Tricks for Puzzles and Survival. And first of all, before we get into it, I want to thank all of you for your feedback and your suggestions. It's always helpful for us to hear what you like and don't like about the videos and what you'd like to see us do in the future. You can always email us at saviorsofstate@gmail.com. So this week, we're going to tackle the ACE campaign event that happens every 2 weeks in the game. And I guess the first thing that I think that I will say about the ACE campaign, just from my point of view, is that it's all about planning to succeed in this one. Because even though the event takes place over the course of a week, it's all about preparing to maximize your points in any given phase of the event. So it all kicks off with phase number one, where you get points by doing resource gathering. So what are some of the tips that you think would really help people out when it comes to this particular phase?
So on the Gather event Sunday, the first day it starts, you should plan ahead Friday if possible, because if we as an alliance can put up a steel mine or a gas mine to be able to collect resources off of, most people's full events or full marches can gather for over 2 days of time. So that's 2 days worth of resources that could immediately pop on Sunday when it resets to the start of the event. You can also use, if you're at the commander level, Swift Gather, by having that gather right as the event is about to start. Have them far away, give yourself about 5-10 minutes and hit that Swift Gather, and they come in, and the long walk gets them there in the sanctuary when it collects the resources at the beginning of the event. And then you'll be able to use Swift Gather again at the end of the event on Sunday.
And as well, just make sure that during that entire Sunday, you constantly are diligent about making sure that your marches are out collecting when at all possible, just to maximize those gatherings. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the pit crystals also count towards this. Is that accurate?
Correct. Every 2 hours in the pit, you can go in there, recall your troops from gathering. That instantly gathers that amount that you already have, and then you can go attack somebody else's pit and potentially steal some of their crystals that they have in there. And then you start gathering again there for another 2 hours and do it all over again, and then make sure you recall by the end of the event.
And the other advantage to doing that, just as an aside, is that if you are recalling your troops every 2 hours and gathering your crystals, it makes you far less of a desirable target for other people to hit your pit and take it away from you. So that, so, okay, so that's day one. Then at reset, we switch over to day two, and it becomes the research and building phase. So this is an area where uh, it requires a tremendous amount of patience on behalf of most people. I know that one of the things that I find hardest is when I'm going to have one of my big builds that I have been working towards, whether it's a headquarters or, the maybe the Alliance Hall or whatever, or the research center. Those things give tremendous points towards this event. But after you've been waiting a couple months to build like a headquarters, it's sometimes hard to hold off for a few more days before hitting all the builds. But
Right.
what
Right.
what are your suggestions for this one?
So the good thing about the build side of this event is you have no negative effects as far as screwing up anything else in the prior days to the event. Having the two build slots, you can easily put one in a long build like your HQ or your wall or anything like that that has a long build time, and still utilize that other build so you can complete your dailies. Now, the research, on the other hand, only has one research queue, and to do a long queue is smart. It'll get you the most points in the long term, but you'll also have to plan out during your days prior to, do you want to forego completing that quest for your dailies, or do you want to use as minimal gems to just do your daily research that you're supposed to for your quests? So it's hit or miss on what you want to decide. And then during the event, you're going to want to take into account that, yes, you're going to have to use speed ups either way, but also realize our alliance level and how far we've come as an alliance, and our build up times reduction. So if somebody helps you, you're reducing 3, 5 minutes, whatever it is, at this point, for each help that you get. So let's say 10 people helps, that's 30 minutes off your time. So if you're using gems or speed ups, make sure you give yourself that amount of leeway in order to get that free extra time for your build in this event. And this is one of the harder events to do because there's so little options except for having speed ups or gems.
A couple of other things that I always do before I sit down and decide I'm going to start, for example, powering through a bunch of research advancements by using speed ups and things like that. The first thing that I'll recommend is the researcher gear. I know it's something you have to pay real life money for, but I'll tell you something, between the researcher gear and the builder gear, probably the best money I ever spent in the game. It reduces the resource cost of all of the stuff and makes many of the things on the trees actually end up being absolutely no cost and only costing time. The other thing that I habitually forget, but I have been training myself to do, is that over the time of playing the game, I invariably collect many of the build speed up, the percentage build ups, and the training speed ups and the research speed ups. Remember to activate one of those before you start this all, because it will cut down the amount of speed ups you need in order to advance your research or your building or whatever it is that you're doing. And the last one that I always want to recommend people is, if you have specced out your talents into the fast build category, once you activate that, anything that started within the next 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, or 5 minutes, excuse me, it's reduced by 20% in the time. So don't dilly dally, just start reefing on it and you'll get that advantage as well.
Absolutely. And you can use that talent twice in the event because it's a 24-hour cooldown. So if you wanted to start it the day before and use it and start your build, and then you can have that 30 minutes to kind of whip a few things down close to the time, and then don't complete it, and then let it finish during the day and start it again, and then bust it all out at the end of the event. You still have that within that 24-hour period. Also, you have your heroes that play a key role in what you are touching on as far as reducing your costs. Some heroes have a reduction of gas and of steel and wood and food as well. So you can have those advantages with your heroes. And that could be a simple 2-star hero. So if you can max that one out to 71, and you'll get your full potential plus and fully enhanced at five enhancements, you have basically given yourself a major boost in this part of the event.
The next day, we move on to consume stamina. Basically, using either stamina points or AP points, and you will get points for it. So, what are some of your tips on doing this?
Well, this one is a hard one to do because you can get your AP by doing actual AP events. So sometimes you can get a few 120 refills doing the actual campaign, but you can also, and I hesitate on this because I'm not one to do it, but use your tokens in the tavern, and sometimes those will drop AP regeneration for that. But the stam is literally, it's pretty much a buy or an alliance given item. You can plan before, like we do as an alliance, where we start an hour before a 1 hour rally, and then you go from there to build your extra stam because it will actually build while you're doing that. Other than that, it is literally a buy event or a store up and use it on an ace you hope and intend to get the top-ranking rewards on.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that one comment you made there. What we do as an alliance is like Cow said, an hour before somebody starts a hour-long rally and people join it. And as soon as you join a rally, the game removes the AP cost or the STAM cost of doing the layer, and then it starts, your regeneration process starts again. And if the layer is canceled before the thing happens, it refunds your points. And of course, it's been generating points beforehand, so you will go over your limit, which is great because then you have a little bit extra of a boost to go through. And I know that I personally, like you said, from Noah's Tavern, when you do the exchange things, occasionally it'll drop one of those 120 AP things. And what I end up doing right as soon as this event starts is I will do as many of those as the game will allow me, which I think on my VIP level is 8 or 9 of them or something like that. And then I blitz through one of the things in order to just tear through, do 30 or 40 of them at a time. And it generates a ton of points, so it's well worth it. But yeah, the stamina side of things is a challenge to getting those things without spending real life money. It's very rare, and sometimes they come in alliance chests, sometimes you get them as rewards in certain events, but not very often.
Right. This event is really hard to plan for. The nice thing is when you get higher up in your VIP level, it eventually will turn to unlimited AP uses and blitzes, up to how many blitz tokens you actually have, but an unlimited number of AP uses, which I'm not there yet. I think I'm only at VIP 11, which allows for 10 or something like that.
All right, moving on to the Wednesday or day 4 of this, we have the promote and or train troops. So how do you tackle this one?
So for this one, I'm a go-getter on this one. I literally store up all my training speed ups. If you talent for a gather talent, as you mentioned for Sunday's gather talent, by using that, there is actually within that talent, no matter how you talent that and do all your stuff for the gather, you're actually helping boost your training speed up as well. So you can almost switch to that talent during this time in order to train. There's also the research that you do for those talents where you can actually use the reduction of time and then your cost for like 5 or whatever minutes it is for training. So it doesn't cost as many resources. But I am a go-getter on this. And one of the big reasons why is, you max out, and the easiest way is to max out your build on whatever unit you want to do. And when you do that, look at the time on the bottom, and with all of everything up and running, your 30% decrease in time, whatever you use, and try to get it down to a even number as far as like 20 hours to build however many troops or whatever. So that way, when you click on it, to speed it up, you instantly use 20 hours and maybe have to wait 2 or 3 seconds before you can start that again, versus wasting 5 minutes here, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you have that you're using for speed ups. But I'm also a pro go-getter on this, because the more troops you have, the stronger you get, and the less likely you're going to get burned if you're ever attacked in any kind of event.
And again, one of the things that I always forget, well, not always, obviously, but sometimes forget, and I'm going to reiterate it here, is make sure to go into the speed up column of your storage bag and use one of the training speed up percentages before you start this process. It will save you in the long run. And I've also noticed that, it says promoting and training troops, but obviously when I am upgrading, say, a T9 to a T10, it's obviously generates less points than if you were to create a new batch of T10s right out the gate.
Correct. It's based on, I believe, not necessarily your level of increase, but your amount of troops that you're you're gaining, in the sense of you're not only building T9 to T10 and you're still only gaining however your max build is, but that is, you already own those troops, so you're actually technically taking a reduction in might when you do that build, and then you go back up. So you are increasing, but you have to take a reduction even though it doesn't show in points. I think that's why it does not show a maximum number of points you can get versus just doing a full upgrade of brand new units.
Right. So then we move on to the Thursday, day 5, and this is the get material and / improve your might by getting gear, chip, module, or cube material. So how do you tackle this one?
So I'm a big saver on these. This is one of your most powerful thing that you can get um, for to help you get stronger. So I save, and save. With this event, you know, the gear inside the Alliance shop is great, but it's only minimum number of points. Events like this lucky coin, this lucky draw, Valentine's, whatever this is right now that's going on, save those up to use on your next event. Those chests drop out big points. You can get it in pit for exchanging for modules to get points for those, and they have enhancement ones, they have promotes, and they have your regular chips that you need in there. And then also in your arena, there's options to get troop chips, cube chips, anything and everything. Save those points up. There's no real reason to spend anything else in there unless you really need to for resources to level up a building or something. But if you save those up, you have a huge opportunity to get a lot of points in there when buying those chips. And then also you can get it in your ruins, where you go in and basically tackle in there, and then you can exchange in there for your actual chips. And again, they have the same thing: promote, enhance, and your regular chips in there. I think 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star. So there's a ton of potential for saving. You can get them in attacking the zombies on the map. You can get them from the lairs. You can get them pretty much anywhere. It's just a matter of saving for this event.
Yeah, I want to emphasize that because it's one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do in this game, that throughout the 2 weeks leading up to this day, you, through doing layers, through doing events, through doing all kinds of things in this game, you will be given these boxes that are called like promote choice boxes or material choice boxes, where you can choose when you use them up, you can choose which particular kind of material you want, you know, whether it's gear, chip, module, or cube, but save them up. You will, it's not difficult if you play the game regularly to generate even a couple hundred of these in the course of 2 weeks. And if you can just hold off opening them until this day, it will make a big difference in your points, huge difference in your points. So it's all about patience, which is one of the hardest parts of this. So, and also this is your opportunity then to use those materials and to improve your various gear, chip, module, etc., etc. So
Absolutely, being able to actually use the material to actually promote one of your items, it has the biggest amount of points that you can get. So one thing that you should notice is when you do promote one of your chips, you can look at it and go, oh, look, it's a level 11, it's a 4-star, but I'm about ready to promote it to a 5-star. If you look at it, it actually, when you promote, it not only promotes it into a higher star, but it also promotes it to the next level without having to use any of those additional mats to promote it to a level 12. So now you have a 5-star, level 12, and it's almost completely maxed out with upgrading. So then you just go back in there and use your regular mats. Now you just went up 2 levels, and you also went up and promoted it to a higher level star.
it's all about just thinking it through. So day 6 and day 7, they share the same goals, and that is to improve your might through building, increasing building levels, doing research, or training troops. It's kind of the trifecta of where you are building stuff in this game. Now, since we've already kind of tackled these topics, like on day 4, you do train troops. On day 2, you're doing the building and research. Now, day 6 and 7 are kind of combining all of those. And, it's always been a bit of a challenge for me when I get down to day 6 and day 7, because I have used a great deal of my materials to hit those things on the 2 previous days, just a couple of days before. So, what is your strategy for this one?
I believe you hit that nail right on the head. You're pretty much depleted on everything on Friday and Saturday. You may have a little bit here and there coming in. Um, but one thing you do have as an advantage, and that is prior events. If we run an event, usually Reservoir War is on the Thursday. So if you're Thursday and if you're there and you're supporting the cause and hoping for a win, you have the chance to get a few more things to help you out. And on RW, there's build speed ups, there's training speed ups. You have all those other options. And then usually during these events, there's other things like the break loose, where you have the chance to um, use stuff and pair it with this event in order to enhance yourself and again gain more speed ups and more training boosts in order to get yourself to go. So it is a hard final 2 days. I tend to struggle on it because, like you said, I blow through most of my stuff. And I think this is the biggest downfall for most people. And unfortunately, the best thing is just plan, because you may think that you have enough to get yourself in that top 1% in order to get um, your frame around your character, which is a great frame to have. But you may need to save an additional week or two for the next event before you blow it all on this event and do it again bi-weekly. So again, plan, and save.
Now, one of the kind of wonderful traditions of the ACE event, for at least in our guild, is that at reset on Sunday, when it all ends for that ACE, then it's a new thing happens where you get points for hero frags that you cash in at for the Noah's Tavern and all that stuff. That is another one that kind of, in my view, has always gone part and parcel with the ACE event, that you also need to save all of the things that generate hero frags for this particular event. And I mean the hero choice cards, both, any star level of those. I also don't open my arena chests at all, because they can have some frags in there and those will help towards your thing. And then also, of course, I save up all of my coins for Noah's Tavern until this day, so that I can maximize that as well. And remember, in Noah's Tavern, 9 tokens get you 10 spins, so it's much better for you if you wait for that. But besides those, are there any other things that you have stumbled across that help you do this?
Well, I've been looking at that, and you touched on it, and it's kind of a little secret that I have just found out, like literally yesterday. The the events for your hero frags on Sunday after this ACE event, it gives you your basic, easy to obtain hero cards that you get. And the nice thing about this is rank 1,000 and you still get a token or a card. Um, So what I have done is I did a little research on the previous hero event that kind of coincides within the week or week after of this event,
Mm-hmm.
and your options for your hero tokens for that group where you can choose the 3 is a better option, and people don't score as high because they push so hard after this hero frag day, which pretty much everybody is maxed out on obsidian already, if not pretty close. And so what I have done is I actually put in used only my 4-star cards that I had and all my Noah Tavern tokens, and I've saved everything else, which got me over the 1,250,000 points required just to get you in the top 1,000 to at least get some sort of reward. That way, I can blow everything on the next hero event, which has better heroes and better rewards.
So just that I'm understanding what you're saying, on the hero day after the end of Ace, you don't spend anything.
Not now, not since my research yesterday and looking into it. The hero competition is so fierce the day after Ace, but the rewards is 1,000 people get a reward. Um, that's worth it in order to just do the basic minimum. But your following reward for the next hero event that's in between within a week's time or so has better heroes. Less people have those heroes, and the scoring on that event is way lower compared to the millions and millions people have already scored on this current event.
I did not know that. I'm going to make that change. Now I had
I just found that out.
it makes sense when you talk about it. So, because I have been avoiding that second event because I'm basically got nothing to do because it's only been a few days since I shot everything I had on the Sunday. So,
right.
Now I had a couple of last questions. Just wanted to get your input on it and in clarification. Now, throughout doing layers, once you start getting up into the 30 plus layers and things like that, you start getting the 5-star cards and stuff. And when you start doing better in events, you start getting I guess they're kind of like the golden gilded cards where you get the 5-star heroes that aren't as easily obtainable, and you can choose, those come as rewards. Now, those cards, they have a notation on them that says something about does not count towards events. So when you cash in those cards for actual hero frags, they are not going to count to help you towards the goals on these hero days. Is that correct?
That is correct. They don't give any form of any points for that.
So there's no point in holding them at anything. You should just cash them in as soon as you get them.
Well, yes and no. You can cash them in if you know what you're planning on doing. For me, I actually have about 80 of one right now, and then about 40 of another one, and then 15 of another set. And I haven't cashed any of those in, only because I'm trying to maximize what I can do as far as who to level. Because as soon as you level up one, you may wind up with an event that allows you to get that person. And now you're like, oh man, I just put in 15 cards, but I only needed one more. But this event just gave me 10. Now I just wasted 9 cards when I could have put that on another hero because it gives you 3 options. So that's what I do, is I wait and see what events come up, what I win, how I win. Do I only need 5 of those cards to help boost that one up? Or do I, blow it all on this one because I need to increase my rally size, or I need to increase my troop march size, or whatever. So I save.
Another thing that I've considered doing, I haven't done this yet, but I've been toying with the idea. At my current rate of success within the ACE campaign, I usually show up in the top 3%, top 5%, that kind of thing, where the rewards are decent. You get some of those cards and you get some other stuff, but I always miss out on the frame. I've never managed to get into the echelon that gets you the frame. Now, I have been toying with the idea of actually skipping ACE for a week or for a session, and then doing it, giving me 4 weeks to build up material and stuff for an ACE session, to give me a bigger chance at actually getting into the top tiers. Have you ever done anything like that, or are there anything like that you do to help improve your chances?
I haven't, and here's the reason why. That frame is very nice. It is very worthy to have, in the sense it can help you out by a % or 2 on a layer. It can help you defeat somebody. I mean, it is a good frame to have. But the issue is, as soon as you activate it, it only lasts 12 days. So if you need it to run your wasteland event or your valiant event, and you're only going to be able to choose one of those because that's 14 days apart. You know, if you want to skip 2 weeks, well, that's 4 weeks basically of no frame. So yes, if you attempt to go at it, and it is much harder. I used to get that frame all the time, and I have not got it the last two events. There's a lot of credit card spenders out there, and it's a lot harder now. But the cap is also based on the number of players, so 1% or 0.5%. So if there's, I think last time I looked, there was 18,000 people that were actually competing and within the minimal requirements of that last event. 18,000 people to be in the top half or 1% is really hard to obtain. So yes, if you really want it and you have a plan for it. If not, no, because your rewards that you receive during the ACE event, being within the top 3 or 5%, the EVA military crystals and the speed ups and anything else, that the gems that you get as well in every one of those, it's much more worth it to at least maybe use your basics of what you have, not necessarily use all your speed ups or use all your trainings, maybe save a little bit, but keep yourself in that top 3, 5, or 10%.
Just as an aside here, one of the things that I don't seem to see any event or reason to store up is the EVA crystals that you just mentioned. There isn't. Am I missing something, or is there some event where there's an advantage to saving them and spending?
There is an EVA event, and I do save mine.
Well, that EVA event, though, at least when I read the rules, it says if you gain crystals at that time and EVA level ups or whatever, but it doesn't say anything about the points that you get from those things. Have you actually experimented with that?
Yes. So if during that event, you go to your EVA and you click on one of the 3 options and you get that. If you click on that, it goes into your bag. So your bag is not necessarily counted for anything, just like your chips. When you have those boxes in there, it doesn't count until you open them. So if you go to that, and you can test the theory as well, but if you go to one of the 3 tabs, you click on it, let's say it gives you 5,000 times 2 of the military crystal, then go back to the tab to say for the event, it should still read 0 points. So as soon as you open it, though, that's when you get your points. So yes, I save mine, and the benefit is your military, obviously, all the time. So every once in a while, I will spend my economy crystals, but other than that, I save the majority of my EVA crystals.
All right. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you have to say about the ACE campaign that you want to give us advice or anything like that?
If you can, like we mentioned in the beginning, for the very first event, gather talents. Really, really focus on something like that if you have that option to have multiple talents. Like I said, if you gather or put the talents in there for a gather talent, you're actually helping 2 of the events, and that is the gather event and your training speed up event. So that training speed up event is also on the last 2 days. So you're actually 4 days out of the 7, you have somewhat of an advantage. And the benefit of that is you can train with that talent on the training days and the last 2 days. But during your training, you run out of speed ups, just switch back to your military one, whatever you're doing, to go back to normal play. And it won't hurt anything because you've already initiated the build and it's already been accounted for, and you can just switch back and forth per each build of troops.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you again for all of you people who check out the videos. And remember, we will take your feedback and suggestions at saviorsofstate@gmail.com. In the meantime, talk to you later.